One of the key factors which we talked about earlier in selecting sourcing destinations is costs. Now these two graphs show the average wage profiles in the different European countries. The table on the right shows the average wages in the IT sector earned by the leading nations in Europe. We can see that Spain is somewhat approximately earning half of that earned in Europe in the IT sector. The table on the graph on the right shows, a little confusing there, shows where Spain does actually compare. Spain is comparing with nations such as the Czech Republic and Hungary in IT wages. So, although wages are an important factor outsourcing, it's not the only factor we should be considering. We should also think about hidden costs, such as transport, communications, delivery issues with quality, delays, reworks. All these things influence in the final invoice for the sourcing project. In the reports we've been circulating since the beginning of the event, and maybe you have some of them with you, you can see that 31%, almost a third, can be saved by efficient processes and good project management, whereas only 9% can be saved by direct costs such as wages or labour. So what we're trying to say is good project management is essential when considering how to manage your outsourcing. Now this observation goes a long way to explaining why 2 out of 3 outsourcing budgets are never actually met. Again, cost is not the only factor which should be considered when outsourcing. We need to think about sustainability. This is type of sustainability required when organising relationships on a long-term basis. This data shows the inflation rates for the last 4 years, and we can see where Spain is comparing. Spain is amongst the European leaders, and during this entire period has maintained an inflation rate of under 4%. This translates as cost sustainability and price predictability. Now, in recent years, high inflation rates in other countries have eroded some of the principal advantage of the wage gap, which has been sold by other nations. Whereas in Spain, this type of cost predictability will guarantee the future of your sourcing relationship. Cost, again, isn't the only factor when considering sustainability. We need to look at the availability of talent in terms of trained, skilled and experienced professionals. This diagram shows the number of science and technology graduates in European countries as a percentage of the population they represent. The size of the bubble can be used to gauge the size of the population. Spain is ranked 4th in Europe in the number of science and technology graduates in Europe. And when this number is considered as a percentage of the population, we can see that Spain is one of the highest ranking countries in Europe. So let's look at the IT sector and some of the education centres supporting it. There are over 300,000 engineering students currently studying, and every year 13,500 graduate in ICT-related studies. So what is the source of all of these professionals? The 38 telecom universities you can see dotted around the country and the 68 IT universities are all over the nation, as you can see in the diagram. When you combine this with the high levels of employee retention rating, we can see why Spain is considered one of the highest ranked countries in terms of people skills and availability. This graph shows a brief overview of the professionals available in the different verticals. We can see the finance sector and the profiles and the seniority of each of those professionals. So where are all those professionals? If we look at the map of the different countries in Spain, different companies, in Spain, operating in Spain, we can see that the countries are operating across the nation. I'm sorry about this, I lost that. The companies are operating in all corners of the nation. There are over 15,000 small and medium enterprises in all corners of the country, and access to them is easily gained by the world-class infrastructure that Fernando had currently explained to you. You can see By means of example, here are some of the international companies already operating in Spain and benefiting from the advantages which can be gained by sourcing to Spain. We have companies such as Volkswagen, EADS, GE, BT. They all have centres in Spain. And if you look at the IT sector, we can see some of the big multinationals such as Toshiba, IBM, Cisco, all working in Spain. We have the pleasure today of Juan Babst from Holcim, who's also here. If anybody would be interested, they can also... Thank you, Juan. John. Holcim has IT centres based in Spain that are serving across the whole of the EMEA, and they're also operating together with centres in Latin America, leveraging on the capacity which can be gained through there. So Juan can perhaps give you some more light on this. So the final factor I'd like to look at before we move on is the nearness of Spain. Spain, this advantage goes a lot further than the advantages offered by nearshore, the basic nearshore advantages. Spain is close on a political, economical, business and cultural basis. Now this is a fundamental factor and it shouldn't be overlooked because many outsourcing relationships have failed in the past due to semantic misunderstandings or communication problems. On the other hand, Spanish partners can stand to gain from some of the business insights that can be provided by our consultants.